Hey, Radio Check team, coming at you at Superstition Springs Mall. We are here testing out the Talkpod officially testing out the Talkpod A36Plus. As you may have already seen the unboxing for this radio, it's a GMRS FCC compliant radio. It is actually advertised and sold as a multi-band, including air frequencies, VHF, UHF, and a few others that you can either receive or talk on. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm still doing my intro. So we want to test out the radio. Again, it's a GMRS. It has 1 through 22 GMRS radio. I think, I forgot the booklet, but I think it does have its maximum allowed power of 5 watts output. So we're just going to do a little bit of a test to see the distance. Again, I really think it's best to pick a location where you have a lot of buildings or obstruction between you and the other radio. That way you can kind of see how powerful it is and how well it's going to do in the environment you want to use it for. So again, every radio, depending on the output power, you can either cut through buildings, concrete, whatever it is you're trying to get through, not so much over. Radios don't really work over as far as UHF or direct line of sight radio. So UHF 400 megahertz is typically a line of sight radio. So this is why they always say the higher the antenna, the better reception you're going to get. Repeaters are on top of your roof or buildings or towers, and that's where you get better communication, is when your radio, your antenna, can see that antenna and repeat, or the other person's antenna. So the higher the better. So anyways, we're going to do a check on this to see how well it does. I did activate, what do they call it, the Roger. They call it something else in here. So one thing I do like about the radio is that the backlight is different from your traditional Baofeng. Let's see if you can kind of see it. How do we do menu? So menu and Roger beep. That's what they're calling it, DC12, similar to your MDC12 1200. So let's go ahead and do a radio check and see what it sounds like. Radio check. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, radio check.
Is there a lot of static? I'm getting some static, but I can hear you.
There's some background static, but it's not too bad.
I think I lost you. Then some guy was started peeling out next to me. I don't know if you guys heard that. This guy over there. All right, one more time. Radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do I sound? You want to record me on your site so I can see what it sounds like?
Okay, hold on. Okay, radio check. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
1, 2, 3. I can hear you. A lot of static, but I can hear you. And I'm also using the stubby antenna, so maybe that's not helping.
I have a stubby antenna too.
Alright, give me a minute. Let me swap it out, see if it'll help. Let's swap out the radio. This is the custom antenna, or the one I just recently bought. I like low profile antennas. It just less noticeable, I guess. It just makes it compact. Let me swap it out. Let me see if the original antenna it came with works a little better. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. This is the antenna it came with. It's pretty long. Oh, I'm getting someone else on here. Hey, is that you on the other side? Check 1, 2. Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Hello, was that you just talking to me?
Ah, it sounds a lot better. Yeah, that was me. You sound a lot better.
Okay, yes, I can hear you.
Oh, interesting.
Alright, let me use one more antenna. I brought another one, so let me swap it out.
Sounds good with the original antenna. All right, here's the other antenna. This is the, let's see if you can see it there. Ababari. Never heard someone pronounce that name, so I'd rather not pronounce it. Um, but it's an AR80 805S, if you're curious. Um, though these were probably my first stubby antennas for the Baofengs I originally bought, but obviously they work on pretty much any radio that it fits. So as long as it also needs to be tuned for UHF, VHF as well. So don't fall for that. So just be really careful. So all right, let's see what it sounds like. Radio check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Hello, are you trying to talk to me?
I am indeed trying to talk to you. How do I sound?
Well, static, but like I could kind of hear your voice a little bit.
You're actually coming in really clear versus the other two antennas.
Now, like once I like activate it or something, like you're clear now.
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty good with this antenna. Let me move to another spot and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Well, it did well. It sounded really clear actually. Let's go find another spot and then see what it sounds like. So the Superstition Spring Mall is over here by I think it's the 60 and the 202, I think the 202 off of Power. This mall, I would say, used to be a dead mall or a slow mall, and for some reason, it started picking up a little more. I don't think there's anything that came in new or left. I'm just seeing more foot traffic. Obviously, today's a little slower, and we are on JCPenney side, but I mean, you can see that they recently repaved the road, so I don't know if they're coming up with money or they're looking to look for new tenants or new vendors coming in. But anyways, all right, let's check the radio from here. We did move locations. She is still on the other side of the mall, so let's see what it sounds like. Radio check 1 2. Radio check. Can you hear me on the other side? Radio check 1 2. Radio check. Can you hear me? One thing I do appreciate about this radio is the right size, a perfect size PTT. These other Baofengs, they had such a small little button. It felt a little cheaper, just harder to press. I do appreciate bigger PTTs or push to talk buttons. And I think that's why, till this day, XTS 3000 and XTS 5000 are my favorites because they do have that bigger PTT button. So, all right, we're not getting anything. One more time, and then we'll swap out the antenna. Maybe we're really cutting across buildings here. So let's try it out. Radio check 1 2. Radio check. Can you hear me on the other side? No, I don't think so. Let's swap out the antenna. What should we go? The other stubby? Let's try that one first. All right, here we go. Here's the other one. It's just a little different. Radio check 1 2. Radio check. Can you hear me on the other side? 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Can you hear me? All right, guess that is a no. Let me swap it out with the original antenna. All right, here we go. Original antenna. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Can you hear me? Radio check.
Yes, I can hear you.
I was using the stubby antenna, but it wasn't getting over to you, so I swapped it out to the big one. How do I sound?
Some static in the background, but I can understand you still.
Yeah, same thing. It's not pretty bad. All right, let me try another location, and then I'll get back to you. All right, one more spot, and then we'll wrap it up. I saw security over there trying to follow me. I'm sure once you start recording, and throwing up radios in the air. They start getting a little suspicious. So we'll do one more test, and then we'll wrap it up. I don't know what all this stuff over here is. All these Connex boxes. Maybe I'll go back here. Maybe I'll use that. What holiday is it coming up? Oh, it's a maze. They're putting up the maze. There you go. You go in that way, and you go in and get lost and get scared. Check 1 2, radio check.
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Oh wow, pretty good. Sounds pretty clear.
Yeah, it's clear on my end too.
I might be a little closer to you. I am on the other side of JCPenney. I guess we'll have to map it out. Pretty good. I mean, there's nothing. I guess there's no trick to it other than the right antenna, the right location, the right distance. Let me swap out to the stubby one more time and see how that goes. And I did want to explain. So one thing to understand on GMRS radio. Oops, let me turn these lights on so you can see it better. One thing to understand about a GMRS radio. So GMRS and FRS radios commonly share the same channels or frequencies, as you put it. And the difference of an FRS is an FRS is categorized as an FRS, family radio service, if you cannot remove the antenna. If you can adjust the antenna, customize the antenna, remove the antenna, it would have to be part of a GMRS if you are transmitting on those frequencies. So in this case, with this radio, it is FCC compliant for GMRS because number one, the frequencies. Number two, the wattage, the output power. If you're looking at this, you can see GMRS 3 is high power, and then GMRS 13 is low power. There are certain, I think there are certain frequencies or certain channels that permit you to use a certain amount of power, and maybe I can put up a screenshot of what the FCC says. There used to be a difference of how much power you can use on each channel. I don't know if that's changed or if that was ever the case, but I do know that FRS was similar to where frequencies, certain channels or frequencies, you can use half watt to 1 watt or 1 watt to 2 watts. So, so just so you understand, this is what makes a GMRS an actual GMRS radio. So, all right, let me swap it out. All right, here we are with the other stubby. I'll have to get the name for this one. Radio check 1 2. Radio check. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
That's not bad. Awesome. All right, let me swap out the antenna one more time.
See that?
Look, there's security right there. See, he's hawking me. He's keeping an eye on me. All right, last antenna swap out. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Radio check.
Go ahead, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Yeah, sounds pretty good. Let me try to find a spot away from the mall to see if I can reach it with the other antenna.
It kind of cut off right there.
Uh-oh. I said security is watching me, so I'm going to go find another spot outside of the mall.
Okay, it's sounding a little, like, staticky, I guess.
Yeah. All right, I'll swap out the antennas.
Hearing interference as well.
All right, move locations down here next to the dealer. And let's see if we can get her over there. Oh, turn it on first, right? Radio check 1 2. Radio check 1 2. I don't think she's going to be able to hear me because but she'll probably hear me. I won't be able to hear her. Check 1 2. 1 2. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Check 1 2. Can you hear me over there? Maybe not. Check 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Can you hear me on the other radio?
I'm getting something, but I'm not sure that's you.
All right, let me try it one more time. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Radio check. Did you hear me that time?
Yeah, something came through, but I can't hear any words at all. It's just like something's coming through.
All right, let me move one more time.
Okay.
All right, one more time. Let's see if we can get a little closer. And again, I'm not saying this is a terrible radio because I can't reach her over there. It just means, again, there's a lot of obstruction. There's a lot of buildings, concrete buildings, cars, like I said last time. All that really matters. It makes a big difference of you making contact. So just because your radio doesn't work, you don't make contact, you just troubleshoot it. Just find out, what the limitations or what the max limitations are essentially to that radio. So let me move a little closer right here. Now we're going to be facing Kia. Right there. And then them. All right, let's see. Radio check. Can you hear me? Radio check.
I can hear you.
Well, I'll be damned. All right. I think we're just a little too far.
Yeah, I heard you too, loud and clear. Well, not loud and clear, but I heard every word you said.
But there's static.
Can you record so I can hear?
Hey, can you repeat that?
Can you record so we can hear this later? I can do a playback.
Keeps cutting in and out.
I said, can you record it so we can play back?
Repeat that?
No, she can't hear me. That's already 3 times. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yes,
A little closer.
Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
I was actually going to record it so I can do a playback later. I'm right next to the Kia dealership, and it's like 3 salespersons just hanging out outside. Actually, there's 1 2 3 4 5.
Oh, we gotta visit there soon anyway.
Yeah, but I guess we gotta stick around the salespeople. Alright, one more time, radio check. Can you hear me? Are you hearing that? I think someone else is on. Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Can you hear you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I think someone else is trying to use it. Let's get off this channel. I'm gonna end the video here now.
So anyways, this is your Talkpod GMRS radio. It's an A36Plus. It's not bad. It's your standard GMRS radio. There we go. I'll turn that out. One thing I do really appreciate about this radio is that it comes with a USB-C charger. So that's pretty cool. You can plug in your phone charger to this. Let me see if I can do that really quickly. There we go. Plugs in. It starts charging. I don't know if you can use it while it's plugged in. Can you? You sure can. Pretty cool. So you can plug it in. You can charge it while you use it. You can transmit. So that's pretty cool. I also do like the fact that you can customize these buttons on the top and on the side. Just like you'd see on a Motorola, you have your 1 and 2 buttons here. And you can do it right directly from the radio. You press your menu, and I think you go to one of these and you tell it button 1 or button 2. Wasn't that? Was it? No. That's another cool thing too. You can name, instead of it saying GMRS 03, you can have it have the frequencies or the channel. So that's pretty cool if you want to customize that. It's got your DCS, your digital coded squelch, obviously your CTCSS. What else? You can scan. That's pretty cool as well. So here it is. You can do a short press and a long press on the button here. So again, now you have two different buttons technically here, because if you do a short press, it does one thing. If you do a long press, it does another thing here. So that's I do appreciate that as well. So long press, normal press, scan, power to the radio. Button 3 is scan, but you can actually do the top as well. Oops. You can change that. Let's see. So it's scanning now. Turn off scan. I guess I'm not a fan of that. You scan and it lands on that last channel that you're scanning on. So it takes you away from the channel you were. And then this one is, I thought I changed it to NOAA. So I don't know what that is. We'll have to figure that out. But that's pretty much it. Let me do that voice encryption or voice scramble as we typically know it. So let me head over to that and change it. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is going to be one of them. Let's go back to... All right, let me move spots a little closer. That way she can record us, and then we can hear what that encryption sounds like. All right, be right back. Can you hear me? Hey, what does it sound like?
Normal, like you're talking to me on the radio.
I put it on encryption, but you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Oh, I was talking back to you too.
All right, let me try a different encryption, quote unquote.
Okay, I'm still recording.
So that's supposed to be that. And I don't know what that is then. Let's go to 2. I think that voice, I think is supposed to mean voice privacy encryption. All right, let's see. Check 1, 2. Can you hear me? All right, let's turn it off. Check 1, 2. We're going to try it without the encryption.
Okay.
So it works. So you can hear me this whole time I was using the encryption.
Yeah, loud and clear, actually.
We'll have to read into that, but that's the encryption there. So it's almost like they're it's like when you have a DCS or a CTCSS, quiet code, privacy tone, whatever you want to call them. It's almost as if you don't have the privacy, the voice privacy. It just means you can't hear it, but you can hear that person. And that's how a privacy tone works again, is the radio will only unmute, because your radio essentially is right now, if it didn't have squelch control, it would be a bunch of just static, a bunch of white noise. And because it has squelch control, that squelch control tells your radio to unmute when a signal comes through. That's how radios work. Again, if you remember, I was talking about the KB Toys radios, the toy walkie-talkies. They're nothing but static, because those don't have squelch control. You just hear nothing but static. But these radios, they have that control, and in order for it to unmute, a certain amount of signal needs to come through. Okay, so you understand that. Same thing with the privacy code or a quiet code, whatever you want to call it, GCS, CTCSS. If you're on that same code, your radio won't unmute just with any signal, but it has to have a strong enough signal with that code. So if you're looking through your settings, you're going to come across, I think it says, so you have your did I pass them? ECS and your CTCSS should be in here somewhere. There you go. So here's your squelch control. So the higher you put the number, the stronger your signal needs to be. So if you put it to 9, right, if you put it to 9, your signal better be crisp and clear. Literally, you got to be standing right next to each other in order for you to hear it. I mean, that's where that control comes in. If you put it to 1, or even if you put it to 0, let's listen what it'll look like or what it'll sound like. So that is 0. That's your radio having no control whatsoever. Now, when we're on 1, that means any bit of signal, any bit of interference, your radio is going to unmute to hear whatever it is coming through, whether it's static, a digital information, analog information, any interference is going to come through. So I'm wondering if that is how this voice privacy is working as well. It's like another added feature on top of that. So quite interesting. We'll have to look into it. I'm just surprised it doesn't work out the way you would think it would. But other than that, this is it. Hopefully you enjoyed the test. It's not a bad radio. It's pretty good. I would say if you can get this to, if you jailbreak it, supposedly it works just as good as a Baofeng. You can go to any frequency you like. It has airband as in air traffic frequencies you can listen on. It has a few other that you should be able to listen and transmit on. Doesn't mean you're supposed to transmit on all of those. Obviously, we all understand. But if you wanted to, or if you wanted to listen to, or if you have the license to, you have the permission to, obviously you would be able to. So this is it. I appreciate you tuning in, watching this radio check. This is the Talkpod A36Plus. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in. Radio check over and out.
To the 964 northbound, stay route 51 at Bell. Per the GPS, that's going to be in the gore point for the Bell off-ramp northbound, and the involved is stating he possibly has a broken arm, which I'm starting Phoenix Fire for at 21 hours.